Hello everyone again to our second video about quadratic equation. Let me remind you first about our first videos. Our first video we talked about the quadratic equation and we talked that the quadratic equation is a second degree equation. Plus also we talked about the three ways how to be able to solve the quadratic equation. Like first one was factorization, second one completing the square, third one the quadratic formula. Today we're gonna talk about how to graph the function. If we back to the linear equation, we could realize that drawing the linear equation, all what we need is just 2 points. Then we connect it to find the line. Here we need, of course, to know what will be the shape of the quadratic equation. So at the beginning, let me before that remind you about how the quadratic equation general form could be. So it is y equal a x square, and we know that a is a coefficient of x square, plus b x plus c. Okay. Last video we talked about the coefficients. That's a is a coefficient of x squared, b is a coefficient of x, c is the free coefficient or without x, and we will give a specific definition to it this video. But let's focus about a. A is the coefficient of x squared, and coefficient mean it could be any real number, so it is subset of any real number, and of course it could be positive or negative. Okay, we will put this aside now. Okay, then let's answer the question I asked at the beginning. What could be the shape of the quadratic equation? At the end, it could be a parabola. Parabola is this shape. It looks like letter U, and also could be in this shape an inverted U. Okay, so here, when the quadratic equation could be parabola, like shape U, or let's call it open to up, or parabola open to down. The answer of this question is too easy. We had to look to the coefficient of x squared, which is a, and in case a bigger than 0, that's mean positive, so it will be parabola up. And if a less than 0, so that's mean negative, so it is parabola down. Some questions I hear it before and ask me about what if a is equal 0. Okay, if we put y equal ax squared plus bx plus c, in case a is equal 0, so the function will turn to be y equal 0 times x squared plus bx plus c, so it's equal 0 plus bx plus c. We will get that y equal bx plus c. Let me remind you about something. bx plus c. I believe it could look like y equal mx plus c. So definitely when a is equal 0 in the general form of the quadratic equation, the function will turn from second degree to first degree. That means it will turn to be linear equation. Okay. Let us now have some examples and to see how we could draw the function. So let's have y equal 4x plus 4x squared plus 2x minus 7. Okay. To draw any function, we need to draw our small table. To construct the table is too simple. It is something like x, y, then we will begin to put some points, then plot it on the xy coordinates. So if we put x 0, if we substitute 0 square is 0 plus 2 times 0 is 0, so y will be negative 7. Let us choose when x is 1. So 4 times x squared, which is 1 square, so it will be 4 times 1 is 4. So let's say at x equal 1, so y will equal 4 times 1 is 4 plus 2 negative 7, so it is 6 minus 7, it is negative 1. So if we put it when x is equal negative 1, so at x equal negative 1, y is equal 4 times 1 is 4 minus 2 minus 7, so 4 minus 9 is negative 5. So if we put x is negative 3, so at x is equal negative 3, so y will equal 4 times 9 is 36 minus 6 minus 7, so it's equal 30 minus 7 is 23, so 23. And let's put another when x is equal positive 3, so it will be 36 plus 6 minus 7, so it will be 35. So if we draw roughly how it will look like, so when x is 0, here is negative 7. So after that, when it's 1, it's negative 1, another point. When negative here, so it is negative 5, though when negative 3 is 23, and here when it is 3 is 35. So we could say that it look like this. So here, as we notice, it's look like U and open to up because the coefficient of x squared is positive 4. Okay, so now we could have another example when x or the coefficient of x squared is negative. So if we have y is equal negative 2x squared plus 4x negative 5. So again, let us try to choose 5 point x and y, and if we use 0, 0, so negative 5, here 1, 3, negative 1, negative 3. So at 1, so we will have negative 2 plus 4 here at x is equal 1. So plus 4, negative 5. So negative 7, positive 4, y is equal negative 3. So here is negative 3. At x is equal positive 3. So y will be equal minus 2 times 9 minus 18 and plus 12 minus 5. So here we will have minus 23 plus 12 is minus 11. So at x is equal negative 1, also we will have y is equal negative 2, negative 4, negative 5. So it is negative 11. And at x is equal negative 3, so it will be negative 18, negative 12, negative 5, negative 35. So if we will draw it at 0, negative 5, at 1, negative 3, at 3, negative 11, and here at negative 1 will be negative 11, and negative 3, negative 35. And as you see, it is u inverted u, and this inverted u is already going down because the coefficient of x squared is going to down. So let us brief what we talk about. We talked about that when the coefficient of x squared is negative, so the drawing will go to negative, same like when the coefficient of x squared is already going to down. That's mean a coefficient of x squared is negative, and when it's going up, it's mean it's going positive. But let us introduce to the components of the graph. So if we saw a graph like this, okay, let us change the color, and we have graph open to up. That's mean coefficient of x squared is positive. Okay. But let us talk here about definition of the point. So at this point, it has several definition. We could call it roots of the equation, or zeros, or x-intercept. Then we could have here any of it, but it must pass by the middle of the function, and we could call it axis of symmetry. Plus here at this point we call it vertex, and this vertex is where the function change its behavior. So if the function is decreasing, and always, and we will explain this later, and always we had to measure the behavior of the function from negative side to positive side. So the point which changed the function from decreasing to increasing, we call it vertex. So if we already have another graph for function with the coefficient of x squared is negative, so it will be open down. So here is the axis of symmetry, and this is the axis of symmetry, where already passed by vertex. And here, as you see, the function until the vertex was increasing, then now the function began to decrease. So this point called the vertex. And in next videos we will begin to have the algebraic expression of vertex or the roots, and definitely this is the way how to solve. And we will begin from the next videos to discuss the first way to solve the quadratic equation, which is the factorization. So please, if you like the video, press like. If you are not subscribed, please subscribe, and see you in next videos. Thank you.